it's that distance. If I had the screen closer, I'd be able to read it. But then it's awkward because you can't type like. But I don't. Yeah.
I'm mocking Colleen.
Oh, yeah, no, mock away.
And I have no room because, any minute, as everybody that I've ever known has ever said, you cross this line. One day you wake up and you will not be able to see fine print and you will need those nosy glasses. Mm-hmm. And somehow, miraculously, thus far, I have not needed them.
Oh, you probably won't at this point.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I actually don't need them. I mean, I can read just fine without them. And my doctor said at this age you probably won't, which is why. And I'm just laughing because what she's mocking me about is that I had to move my computer screen though to 125% because it's just far enough away on my desk that it's blurry. But all of you folks who wear this know I don't need readers, but I need something for the computer. I don't know. So I learned how to make the font larger. But you know what? In my business, that means also like the dicks and the tits are larger.
Yeah.
Because when I'm looking through stuff, everything is 25% larger.
Awesome.
So, I mean, there are perks to this.
I'm telling you. Well, and I know just about any guy that would love to see things 25% larger, which, oh God, I have a funny to tell you about that very thing. Okay. So at my house, in my upstairs bathroom, I have a magnifying mirror, to pluck my eyebrows. And it just sits on the back of the toilet, there. Well, and I never think anything about it. Well, my brother came over one fine Sunday and came out of the bathroom with this shit-eaten grin on his face. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm loving the magnifying mirror on the toilet. So his birthday is in July.
Oh, you're getting him a magnifying?
I'm going to get him a bigger one than what I have to put on the back of his.
Yeah, get him some like double stick tape so he can put it there permanently. Doesn't fall.
So it won't move. He can get it just right. That'd be, that's awesome. I love the double stick tape.
so it can be the exact same spot.
Yeah, but I mean... Yeah, I thought that was pretty freaking classic. How are you?
Doing pretty damn good.
The weather flipped.
Oh, there are green things growing. It's spring. I could definitely tell by doing receipts this weekend that the entire world was outside raking their lawns because I know they certainly were in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it just feels so good to like not. Oh, there's a little bug on the wall. Oh, little. Don't worry. I just not let that. If believe me, if it had been like a centipede, I would have been out of this room. Okay. I can deal with most things except those. It's just been lovely. Hopefully you have been too. Because now it's the time where like the snow melts and you stand and you look at your house, and I don't care what in spring. House things take over. I mean, they take over everything. That is what is on the forefront of your brain.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
The only awesome thing going into this summer, well, not the only, but a very awesome thing, I should say, going into this summer that we are very tickled about at my house is that last year we painted the exterior of the house. We built a deck. We planted extensively trees, hostas.
So you're everything. Waiting for it all to just...
Yes.
Now you get to use it?
Yes. Oh. And we have a fire table now. We have... Everything is there, whereas last year we had so much work that we did all summer. And we got it done just in time for the first snowfall. Perfect. So, yeah, I'm excited. And bought flowers this last weekend, and I was super excited. So, there's a couple things. This first story is kind of a combination of different things. There's some really cool jewelry out there that they've started to make. In fact, the piece I'm wearing right now was made by women who in third world countries, single moms in third world countries, and to support that and whatever. And I actually wear this all the time. They're doing this stuff for charity, and the pieces that are really great. So here's one out of the Ukraine, a gal named Ellen Rococo. She was already a successful artist, and then in her own right, and then she got this idea to make uterus necklaces. Okay, and I first kind of went ew, and the headline, of course, I wish I could think up this shit. Looking cuterous. You can buy a uterus necklace.
Sorry, I like a good pun. That ain't not a good pun.
Well, it's kind of funny though. But so her point is beautiful statements about femininity. So people across the globe, mothers, midwives, feminists, they're all buying them for various different reasons. And she's making them out of like everything from metal to like pearls. So she's doing precious metals and stones and whatever. And they're just...
So would the pearls be like the ovaries?
Well, either that or yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So yeah, my visual of that is that yes,
you can
because they're seed pearls, so it'd be perfect.
Yeah. And she's got an Etsy page, but she says it's a meaningful symbol of female energy, and she admits that some people might think it's a little bit bizarre, but she said it's we try to make it something cool, but they're out there and it's kind of neat.
There's been plenty of penis jewelry, and then you get some other stuff, and most of it's novelty. But I think a nice uterus
would be fine.
Yes, because what would be really fun is that you're looking at it, and you're looking and you go, oh.
Yeah. I mean, it probably just, at a glance, probably just looks cool. You know what this reminds me of? I made a note here. Have you ever seen in Native American art the big squash blossom necklaces? That they look like an upside down. They're usually quite big, and the bottom part looks like an upside down horseshoe. And there's usually stones, and I mean they're elaborate.
Oh, okay.
Those represent fertility. That's a uterus too. So it's not a new concept. So they're around. So I'm supposed to get excited by this headline: "New penis trend: Men are doing this before sex," and I'm thinking, this is going to be interesting.
No. Did you jump right on that clickbait?
Of course I did. Colleen,
that's our job.
A clickbait victim to the nth degree. This whole article, and we're supposed to be all excited, is about guys, their regimes to keep their pubic areas tidy, if you will. Okay, so not only is that like a big yawn to women, because, we do that stuff, but the shockingly low percentages that do certain things. Check this shit out.
Okay.
So this was a survey of 1,000 men. 25% only manscape. It's like, that means 75% don't give a shit, in my opinion.
Honestly, I mean, unless you're wearing a swimsuit where the scrotum bush is sticking out, why would you need to? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, honestly, women have fashions that, you're wearing a swimsuit, you're doing stuff in public. Yeah. You do not want to walk around with hair, halfway bellowing out, wafting in the breeze. There's some, but most of the time guys are covered up.
Yeah. I suppose. Now, this number actually does surprise me.
Okay.
12% say that they clean shave their parts. I would have thought that surprised me that it was that high, actually.
Well, I suppose maybe I'm guessing that these are folks that are athletes, and while they're shaving, they're just like, what the hell?
Just get rid of all of it?
Just get rid of all of it.
Yep.
It also is supposed to, it's supposed to make everything look bigger, too. You take out the hair, it's not hidden.
Well, see, that's I think one of the leading reasons for manscaping. If it's obscured, how can you see things? 20% wax their armpits. 20%.
I attempted to wax my armpits.
Did you have that?
Once years ago on a cruise, I said, I don't want to deal with this. There's going to be 4 of us in a tiny cabin. Let's, this was the first time we did the legs. Went to the armpits. Tears. I bikini line, no problem. Full leg, no problem. I did my mustache. I'm Italian. I have a mustache. The whole, no problem. They did one of my arms, and I was seriously contemplating not doing the other. And I have not waxed my pits since then.
Did it was stay hair free
beyond. Not long enough to deal with the pain that was. I'm serious. It was horrifyingly painful for me. Yet I have a friend who was a lifeguard who had who would always shave, her groin area, the bikini area, because that was too painful for her, and armpits were nothing. Because all humans are different.
Oh, that's funny.
But I mean, I just went. There were tears. There was serious contemplation. But do I have one wax pit and one other? I said that would look weird. So that was it. No, never again. Not ever. No, you're not getting anywhere near my pits. Mm-hmm.
In the final roundup on the male grooming, 16% cleaned up hair around their nipples. Only 14% dealt with hairy ears, and feet, 17%. The
like the nose hair and the ear hair.
Yeah.
I will point that out to my male friends.
Yeah.
The other stuff guys are hairy, and some of them get hairier when they get older. It's not something that's big deal. But if they have hair coming out of their nose or long enough to braid out of their ears, yeah, I'm telling them about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something that you just said about. I don't know. God, I can't.
It was there, and then it went.
It's just vaporized. It's so far gone. I can't even tell you. Okay, this is kind of humorous. Remember last week we talked about the mother that really needs to get a life and a sense of humor.
Oh,
about the penis candy.
Sending the kid in unattended.
Yeah, and buying penis candy. Well, so okay, there was a mix-up in the mail. So there was a package for ABS Holdings in Spring Lane, which is a town. But instead, it was sent to Spring Lane School in a different town. Okay. And it happened to be a box of dildos. and it was. Well,
I'm sure it went to the office and they were just confused as hell.
Yeah. And they said, well, we didn't really look close. We opened up the box, and then it was like, oh, there's a bunch of smaller boxes. And we're like, well, we didn't know. We knew it was something we didn't order, but we really didn't know what it was. So we set it aside. I guess none of the 11 to 15-year-olds that were present saw the contents, but they said the courier had a huge epic mix-up. But I mean, I just think it was kind of funny.
No, we've received other, like, we'll crack something open, we'll go, this isn't ours, but it's generally for, neighboring nearby, because you just pop open now it's, with all the electronics, you're sort of counting, you're seeing what's going through there, and it doesn't make it's less of an issue. But years ago, it was more paperwork, and I'm like, we've gotten things for our neighbors here. Yeah. I'll just, depending if it's like right next, I'll walk it over, I'll do something, that's no problems going through there. Now with electronics, it's easier just to say, no, take it, this isn't ours. But I've never had anyone like walk my stuff over. If something, I can't believe that none of my neighbors or somewhere around here hasn't accidentally got one of the boxes.
So what do you suppose? Yeah.
So I'm assuming that either that's, I've never had anything not show up. So I'm assuming they just say it's not ours and they give it back to the driver. But no one's personally walked anything over.
There's
no way. There's no way in 16 years
somebody had to have opened
somewhere that someone did not get a misplaced merchandise.
Yeah, either that or they kept it.
Yeah,
it's like there's that. There's one of those kind of things. But yeah. That's awesome. So, I just realized I just don't pay that much, and it's not out of any weird hatred or anything else. I just don't pay that much attention to the Royals. I mean, it's just, okay, whatever. So, I was a little surprised when another baby dropped here recently, and it's like, I was like,
I think I heard it. Yeah, I would just, sometimes I do, because I consider it, there's a lot of stuff that is unfluffy nowadays, and every now and then I just need fluffy. So royal babies are fluffy. The twins just did a Make-A-Wish thing. A little boy went out and he got to play with Dozier, and they got to throw out a first pitch, and they gave him. It was like, I might have moist eyes. I mean, it was just the sweetest thing in the whole world. I'm like, that's after an exhausting day watching the twins, show this like 5 or 6 year old with cancer around or whatever, and give him his own little, in the clubhouse, he had his own name and he had his jersey and he got to do batting practice and he warmed up with him out on the field. You need fluffy. And a royal baby, it's fluffy.
Well, there's a royal wedding.
Yeah.
Coming too.
Harry and Meghan.
Right. Mm-hmm. So in honor of the new royal wedding, which, they seem fine. They seem, like a cute couple and all that good stuff.
I just love the fact that, brought down an entire reign like 100 years ago, and now we've got a divorce, marrying another, only took 100 years for them to accept an American divorcee.
Right.
So I watched The Crown, so I know,
Oh, isn't The Crown so good? I can't wait to see the new.
Oh, yeah. And I saw, I have not looked, they've said who's going to be playing them and coming up, because as they age, they're getting different, actors. So I just love the folks that played it before. I'm like, oh,
I know that's a really seriously good. Yeah, they did a great job. Claire Foy is like unbelievable.
oh, amazing.
Well,
wait a minute. She got a bonus check.
I saw that.
It came out that she was being paid less than Matt Smith. Yeah. Now, obviously, he's more popular, but it's nice that they kicked in and paid him the same, and hopefully the other, I mean, it's about her for freak's sake.
Yeah.
But so that was sort of cool.
If you guys didn't know that, she was paid like approximately $10,000 per episode less than the star that plays her husband. And they made it right at the end of the season. But back to Meghan and Harry. Sorry, no. So the British sex toy company Love Honey is commemorative sex toys for the royal wedding. So they have mini vibrators. They're available in a gold ring and a silver Markle sparkle vibrating finger ring. And then there's the royal wedding vibrating love ring, and it's adapted from a very popular couples toy. So it's what I'm talking about.
So do they? Yeah. Look, I'm wondering if they made it look like the engagement ring or something.
Unclear, but they're about $15. So, and I bet they'll sell like crazy.
Well, the one Sparkle Markle is a great name, so I'm just going through that. I have to admit, I live in Minneapolis. I drive through the 50th France area, and there used to be a Monique Lullier, or whatever, dress designer there. But now there's like two. There's Brides of France, and then someone else opened up. I have to admit, when the traffic is slow, I will look over at the wedding dresses. Because they're like pretty. Yeah. So I'm never going to wear one, and I would be and I would drown in anything that's going through there, being a short person. But I'll click on that wedding. They're just like, oh, I mean, and I never pictured myself or played wedding growing up, but I have to admit, I'll click on when they start showing pictures of the dress.
Oh yeah, I mean, I if I'm not gonna go out of my way to like watch it or. But
I won't be getting up. Although Will Ferrell and another female comedian. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. I can't remember her name. They did the Rose Parade. Shannon something. They were fake announcers, and they did online. They did the Rose Parade and just butchered it. It was hilarious. They're going to be doing the same thing I saw that online. They're going to be doing the same thing for the royal wedding.
Perfect.
I might watch that. And they'll replay it later, so you don't have to actually get up and do it. For sure. I think it's like that's going to be funny.
It'll be awesome. So good luck to those guys. It's the 19th, so it's coming up pretty quick. So we have stories, and the subject of gaseous emissions during sex is talked about here and there on the Great Northern Sex Cast. And there's 10 ways to stop farting. Your boyfriend. So especially for women that are upset. But these are kind of Medical News Daily put this out.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of an interesting thing. If you are worried about this, here are some things to do or not do. Okay.
Okay.
I thought this was interesting. No chewing gum. It's the air that you swallow. Okay, so that's one.
So you're either going to burp or fart. It's coming out some way.
Yeah, exactly. Eat slow.
Same thing.
Swallowing air. Ditch skinny jeans. I thought this was hysterical. The tight-fitting clothing is cute, but if you fart a lot, it makes you more uncomfortable if you suffer from bloating and more likely to want to fart because everything's so tight. Food allergies. Know what you are allergic to.
Oh, yeah.
And, whatever. Carbs are big culprits of gas. It says that...
I thought it was more like cruciferous. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Carbs, huh?
Yeah. And they said they contain all sorts of things like fructose, lactose, insoluble fiber, and starch, which ferment in your intestines, a.k.a. gas. Cigarette smoking, inhaling of air, makes you fart, and dehydration. Exercise. Beer is a fart inducer. Make sure that you're...
Well, that's high carbs.
Yeah. And then they're suggesting that you take probiotics and enzyme supplements. So you will, be able. So if you've got a gas situation and it's affecting your sex life, or you just don't want to be fartuous, there you go.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, me and gas are like this. I'm tight. Yeah, I always have been. Well, with the lactose issue that I have.
Oh, yeah,
not good. It's good. I was like, there are times I'm like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Maybe I'll wander away from the group.
Everybody deals with it.
Yeah, I mean,
have you ever been?
Oh, I'm wondering. Okay, so you're like at the UN or somewhere, and you're giving like everybody passes gas. So, but so when you're doing something or you're on stage or you're doing this or that, it's got to be, but nobody ever talks about it.
If a joint session of Congress, that some people are ripping farts in there.
Yeah.
It has to be happening.
I mean, so why everyone is so, just so, I don't know, delicate about it or squeamish about it. I mean, it can be unpleasant, but it's not like they're not doing it.
Yeah. Well, it is one of those things where I think that we're normalizing it, but I think for a really long time there was the supposition that you farted because you didn't do something that you should have, or you did something that you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas it's actually just kind of the way shit works, which is okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you see the story? It was in the Pioneer Press about the local girl, Katie Kelsenberg, who put out a big call for The Rock to take her to the prom.
Oh, that was really, I saw that. That was really cute.
It's kind of a cute story. And she's a huge fan, and she's got this picture with rock themed memorabilia. And he actually responded to her. This is the cute part. He said, "I'm sorry, I'll be in Hawaii filming." Mm-hmm. But the fact that he took the time, and I guess that he's pretty known for that.
Yeah, I watched. He seems like a decent guy, and I know he just had. I don't know if he's married, but I know he and his partner just had a baby girl. Oh, and there was this absolutely sexiest picture in the world. It's him with his little newborn daughter on his chest, and someone snapped a picture, and so you're just like, oh. I hope I never find out this guy's an asshole, because I can't have this guy be an ass.
Yeah,
he's just too nice. He's going through there, but I mean, there's your sexy shot. I mean, this guy with his baby.
Oh. Very cute.
Mm-hmm.
Very cute. I don't know it seems to be a butt theme this week, but it's not in a good way. It's just the stories just tend to sort of cluster themselves.
Okay, cluster butt. Okay,
how
butt
your
clusters
anus can help you pass a lie detector test. This is seriously true. I'm not kidding you. I'm like, what? And so there's this guy. He was a cop. Okay, he was a cop in Oklahoma.
Okay,
and during training, they polygraphs and taking them so that they understand what the process, all this kind of stuff was part of his police training. And he realized that that the pucker factor, that if you clench your anus, it can actually affect the results of the polygraph. And so it's amazing. I mean, it's really kind of amazing because, widely,
excuse me,
the accuracy of these tests have been disputed, over the years. But the general consensus is that they are accurate overall. But sometimes, Anyway, an honest person might be nervous, while a dishonest person may not be anxious, which is how it skews the results. But clenching your butt can affect the monitoring that they do, the physical monitoring. Here's the hysterical thing. He shared the information, and he actually got prosecuted for obstruction of justice for giving people this information on how to foil a lie. How is that possible? It's like, then how do the people who invent radar detectors, wouldn't that be the same thing? You're showing somebody how to cheat a law enforcement thing.
So in other words, he figured it out, and he just sort of put it out on his.
And
so he's saying clench your ass,
yes.
and it will screw up the.
Yes.
It's not. I mean, I'm confused. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many other things like you can't find somebody else to prosecute for something. Like, seriously. There's a condition
Okay.
that's having attention called to it by a fellow who suffers from it. And it's a guy named Ben. Well, he just goes, Ben is all we have, but he's known as the Naked Professor. And he suffers from a condition called delayed ejaculation. Basically, he can't orgasm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it is a noted sexual condition. Mm-hmm. And so he's running around London taking naked pictures in front of landmarks to call attention to this fact. And, he first learned of it when he first started having sex. But he's literally gone on television to talk about this. And he says, I think the terminology is wrong. It's not delayed. It doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. And so, he's trying to come to terms with this problem. He's working with a life coach and all of this. And it's classed as a significant delay in reaching ejaculation or not being able to orgasm at all. And if you are not able to ejaculate at least half the time you have sex, you suffer from this. The most common underlying cause is psychological, but it can also be caused by diabetes, multiple sclerosis, spinal cord injury, age, damage to the bladder, or prostate.
Yeah, I was thinking that it would be like a nerve issue. The signals in your brain are not getting to the body that something is supposed to happen now.
Yeah.
When you listed all that stuff. The thing is that, I know people are thinking, some people might think it's silly that someone would do something like this, but until folks sometimes think they might be the only person this happens to.
Right.
Sorry, folks. To some extent, we are not unique. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just simply not unique. And it's sort of nice to know that other people have these issues.
Well, and, we've talked about the fact that the loud voices get the research money too. Mm-hmm. So he's probably just trying to get the ball rolling. Mm-hmm. That sounded really bad. I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, but I can see that. But it's just so strange because I haven't, it makes sense if you not being able to, going through there. But I bet you anything, since it's a male issue, it probably gets some funding fairly quickly.
Anorgasmia is what they call it. Mm-hmm. And the warning is, hey, if you think you might be suffering from this, double check if you are, are you on antidepressants, antipsychotics, and muscle relaxants, because that can also contribute.
And it also could be the precursor. I mean, that mentioned a bunch of other things there, diabetes, MS, stuff like that. And so, if you, when you're speaking to a physician, you have to bring everything up, and it could be embarrassing. This is first, I can't, this might be something.
You said bring everything up.
Uh-huh. Well, it's up. It's just not out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. This one's, I don't have a penis, and this next one is hard for me.
Okay.
Man shoves entire chopstick up penis.
People do like to put things in their penis. I don't quite understand. I don't think it's as prevalent as people putting inappropriate things in their anus. Mm-hmm. But, we do sell items for your urethral plugs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Most of them are smaller. There's also some of them are silicone, some are metal. The silicone ones I can sort of understand. I don't have one. But there's sounding devices. Mm-hmm. But a chopstick seems...
Well, here's the deal. The guy didn't do it himself. He said he and his friend got blind drunk, and his friend put it there. Which I would seriously rethink that friendship.
I'm thinking maybe you got to rethink how much you're drinking. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that too. Yeah. He went to the hospital. This happened in Vietnam. And the doctor was able to remove it. No overnight stay required. In and out on the same day, so to speak.
Oh, I bet that was irritating. Mm-hmm. But it probably was a better chopstick than like the ones you get at, the rough ones that you get here. Because I bet you anything that wouldn't have come out without, any sort of surgery or something like that.
I mean, that just freaks me out. I mean, I'm still like cringing over here.
No, I'm just, if there's something that you're interested in, there are in fact appropriate designed toys, implements, inserts, plugs for that sort of urethral play. Random things, No.
I think it's a different constitution that, and I realize that there are fetishes and preferences that can vary, but I think that's got to be a pretty narrow group of people, because most guys, you say, hey, let's ram something up the end of your penis. Most of them are like, I'll pass. Thank you.
Yeah. We've sold a fair amount.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So Christina Aguilera, we have not seen her in a feature film since Burlesque. Did you see that?
That was
Cher.
yeah, it's better than, what was the one with the gal, the blonde one in Vegas? There was a
oh God, yes.
Yes.
The chick from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, that was
God, that was so bad.
So it was
Showgirls.
Showgirls. It was better than Showgirls, but and I like the individual stuff, but I mean the story could be exactly where it was going.
Oh yeah.
I mean
Oh yeah.
There weren't any surprises in it, but it was fun watching the musical numbers.
Yeah. They were fun to watch. And but she's going to play this one's for Meghan.
Okay.
She's going to play a robot prostitute.
Isn't that Westworld? Okay.
You're right.
I don't watch that, but isn't that what that is? Okay.
The movie's called Zoe. It is a futuristic sci-fi drama about I don't know if I can say this without laughing, the troubled relationship between an android and her colleague. Well, is there inherent difficulty built in right there by definition? I don't know. I'm just saying. So Christina plays she plays a sex robot, and it's just, and Ewan McGregor's in it, and I love him. So I don't know. Speaking of farts, I think Fred just farted. Wow. Oh. Well,
we're a couple feet apart here, so maybe the angle, the airflow is different.
Studio dog, just absolutely. Oh my God. So yeah, we'll have to watch for that. I do. Christina Aguilera is talented.
Yeah.
She can really.
Is she still judging something, or is she done doing that? I don't watch any of those shows. I barely watch regular TV anymore. Not under any sense of just there's not a lot I want to watch, and I don't sit down. And then I got rid of the cable because it was frustrating and stuff like that, and I wasn't watching it. It was kept going up and going up, and so if I actually want to watch something on broadcast TV, I have like the $8 a month Comcast thing just to get the signals in, so I don't have to have an antenna. And I never can remember how to get there. And then downstairs, my daughter has so many things. I don't even know how to. I mean, honestly, I have no idea how to turn on the TV downstairs.
You don't know how to operate it?
No.
Yeah.
There's like 5 remote controls, and I don't know whether or not she's watching it through the Roku or whether she's watching it through her Xbox, or whether I don't know how to get to the stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's a pain in the ass to like have to use the remote control to like find what you want on Netflix and stuff like that. So I'll watch DVDs on my because I'll still occasionally get those.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to stream something, it tends to be on a tablet or something. And I always used to laugh at the kids that would watch something on something so small. But I've actually gotten used to it.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much work to scroll through the stuff with a remote control.
Well, not only that, but there's just no intuitive way to deal. The setups vary so much. Like, for example, I went out to visit a friend. Actually, it's a client of mine. They have this insane mansion in Scottsdale, and I spent the night. And because I was they'd been down there for a month. I was on Minnesota time, so I woke up at like 4:00 their time, right? And they were acclimated, so I didn't want to. I was in like this little guest house thingy thing, and I didn't want to, wake anybody up. I could not. There was 4 remotes out there, a giant television, and I know that they had everything. Couldn't get that fucker to work to save my life.
Yeah, I mean,
and I tried for an hour.
You would think that the folks would just make it. I mean, if folks were reliant on their television, how do you watch porn if you can't turn on your TV? I suppose you're just all doing it online now. But if you've got the 50 to 80 inch TV on the wall, I would just think it should be easier to turn on. there should not be many things. I mean,
agree.
Eventually I'm like, upstairs, I'm like, oh, that's right. This is the TV and this phone. Oh, there it is. I mean, but I was trying to watch, like, was it like 2 years ago or Sherlock? I missed like one of the episodes of Sherlock for the, like on PBS, because for the life of me, I could not figure out how to get to channel 2. Like, how does
Here
this
we have
work?
all this amazing technology, and we can't even do what we used to be able to do with rabbit ears and a black and white set.
Yeah. I mean, I was just frustrating earlier today, or yesterday, trying to do, my sister finally got an upgraded computer and all this stuff, and now all of it won't speak to like our 15-year-old printer that just does one thing. We use it for one thing, printing checks. They can be face up, the numbers are in order, it just prints in blank. It's just a check printer. That's all we use it for. Mm-hmm. The new computer and the upgraded QuickBooks will not talk to this ancient computer.
Yeah. Or the ancient printer.
Yeah, ancient printer. Pardon me, ancient printer. I'm like, you've got to, it's a simple thing. But now I had to like reverse all the checks. I'd like put a blank piece of paper in and mark each side 1, 2, 3, 4. So I knew how to put the check into the damn printer to see how it would print, and then do a test one to make sure it was right, and then count them out, and then put them in. It was so much. The other thing just worked. I mean, it worked for like a long time.
Yeah.
And the other things have evolved past. It should not be that difficult.
Yeah.
To print something.
Well, it's a conspiracy,
Mm-hmm.
It's talk about collusion. Mm-hmm. It's among technology producers because they want you to have to go buy new printers. Mm-hmm. And it's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Bill Cosby, guilty on all counts. Story's been, of course, all over the news. Could seriously do jail time. I don't know how he's going to avoid doing jail time. I mean, for what he got convicted of, and it's, 3 counts, all 3 counts of sexually assaulting a woman back in 2004. But there were so many other alleged victims that, so he got convicted on 3. And that happens a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There's scads of allegations, and then they just go for what they know that they can get the conviction on. But he's 80 years old, and you may have heard that he yelled in court, and because it was about whether or not letting him remain free until sentencing. And the prosecutor was arguing that he's a flight risk, which he's got ample means. And, he retorted back with foul language in the courtroom. And I just wondered kind of what your final wrap thoughts on this were.
Yeah, I think he's going to spend some time in prison, but I don't think he's going to end up and he'll probably be sent to a really cushy one. But if he mouths off, then he'll get pushed around.
My brother and my sister,
sort of like Denny Hecker here in town. They kept moving him around because he kept, from what I understand from the newspaper articles, he kept mouthing off. Or one time he smuggled in a phone. I just thought he was above the rules.
Well, that's how he got in trouble in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we were talking about this conviction, because going back to when they were kids, and my brother and my sister are a bit older than me, quite a bit even, but the Cosby albums and the evolution of his career, and then to find this out, and it was interesting to hear them talk about how just sick this made them, and how just purely evil the whole thing was.
I'm wondering if the folks that he worked with, for example, on the Cosby Show, nobody's showing this anymore, which means nobody's getting any residual payments off of it. Could they sue him for loss of income?
It's an interesting question.
How that goes and stuff like that, because if this had come out, you would still see it on all the channels that do the reruns and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. But it got yanked, and so none of these folks are making any money off of it. He damaged their income.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to see what's going on.
Well, when you crash a mega brand like that with heinous revelations, and they didn't consent to working with a monster. They consented to working with America's dad.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thought. This cracks me up.
Okay.
Germany. Florida's still lagging far behind.
Maybe, they just, they had a bunch of hurricanes. I'm guessing it's going to take a while to rebuild, to get back. People are occupied. And when they get back, everything's fixed, in a few years.
And they have time to get bored.
And they got time to get bored. There'll be more weirdness.
Okay. Well,
And yeah,
let's hope so.
that's what I'm going with.
Some of the best shit came out of Florida, and they've been radio silent for months.
Yep.
So German police rushed to an apartment in the town of Neustadt after receiving a call about suspected domestic abuse, only to barge in on a voluntary class on Japanese bondage. A concerned neighbor called to report that 2 men were abusing a half-naked woman at a nearby apartment. Police arrived, and they found the tenant, who is a teacher of what's called Japanese shibari, instructing a couple in the basics of erotic bondage.
Oh, that reminds me. I wonder if I ordered rope. I wonder if it's being shipped. Thanks, Sarah.
No worries. Do you need to get a sticky?
No, I'll be fine. I've got it. It's sort of front of mine now. Okay. Yeah, we sell a lot of rope.
Yeah.
A lot of different colors. We get it in teal and purple and pink and black and this really nice sort of steel gray. Occasionally I picked up some like bright green ones and stuff like that.
Does it all sell pretty well? One color win out over the other?
Oh, black always sells the best. In fact, I get it in 700-foot spools and I cut it myself.
Does this rope make me look fat? Yeah. Well, the police department, the joke running through the cop shop there is 50 Shades of Neustadt. But yeah. So before the police realized that everything was fine and before they departed, they invited them, to participate, and they politely declined. But nobody ended up getting in trouble.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, that was kind of cute. So that's what we've got this week. Anything coming up on the horizon for fantasy gifts?
We're going to be involved. I got to check on. We're going to be involved in several city space. The Beer Fest is coming up. We're going to have the prize wheel out
fun.
there and a couple of other things. We're working on. Going to be the end of May here, 20th and 21st. We're going to be closing early at Burnsville on the Sunday, and then we closed all day Monday because we're doing some remodeling over there. I'm pulling out a platform, switching doors, doing some stuff. And I'm going to be. I'll probably be done early, but I'm not going to put that stress on everyone because you get to the point where like you realize, you know what I really need is more shelves, and then you got to run out to Menards, and then we've done it a lot. So we're, like I said, we redid that store 5-6 years ago when they were doing the highway, and I switched doors, and I'm going to go because I don't want the dust, but we're switching back, and it's just sort of like you finish getting all your stores redone, and then you got to go back to the beginning
and start at
the beginning again. That's how it works. So that's sort of the project on the horizon.
Okay, well, spring has sprung, so it's time to get Randy. Everybody visit the stores.
Sounds good.
See you next week.